Welcome to the Baha'i community of London's virtual celebration of the first day of Ridvan. We're so glad to have you join us this afternoon. Today we have a beautiful program with elements that have been pre-recorded from recent years, and we hope that you are inspired by the words and music. Today, Baha'is around the world are celebrating the King of Festivals, the holiest days of the Baha'i year for the next 12 days. These celebrations commemorate the beginnings of the Baha'i faith in 1863, in a beautiful rose garden filled with the songs of nightingales on an island in the middle of the Tigris River. Called the Garden of Ridvan, which means paradise, this flowering, fragrant, birdsong-filled spot witnessed the birth of the world's newest independent religion during these 12 days 160 years ago. On this island near the ancient city of Baghdad, the Ridvan Garden marks the exact place where Baha'u'llah first declared his mission and inaugurated the Baha'i faith. Baha'u'llah's momentous declaration happened during the 12-day period before his banishment to Istanbul, Turkey, then called Constantinople. 10 years before, in 1853, the Persian government had exiled Baha'u'llah to Baghdad, fearing the rapid spread of his teachings and their progressive impact on society. In April of 1863, because his teachings continued to spread and threaten the clerics, Baha'u'llah faced a second exile. During that period, Baha'u'llah proclaimed the mission of his new faith, the oneness of humanity and peace between all nations, to a widening circle of believers. With this profound announcement, Baha'u'llah transformed the occasion of his banishment from crisis to victory. Today, Baha'is and their friends around the world remember the eve of Baha'u'llah's banishment from Baghdad to Istanbul not as a time of sorrow, regret, or defeat, but as a happy festival of revelation and renewal. The Ridvan holy days demonstrate the power of the Prophet of God to create good from evil, bring forth light from darkness, and win triumph from seeming subjugation. Dear guests, we will now have our prepared program.
Verily I say, this is the day in which mankind can behold the face and hear the voice of the Promised One. The call of God hath been raised, and the light of his countenance hath been lifted up upon men. It behooveth every man to blot out the trace of every idle word from the tablet of his heart, and to gaze with an opened and unbiased mind on the signs of his revelation, the proofs of his mission, and the tokens of his glory. Suffer me not, O my Lord, to be deprived of the knowledge of thee in thy days, and to divest me not of the robe of thy guidance. Give me to drink of the river that is life indeed, whose waters have streamed forth from the paradise Ridvan, in which the throne of thy name, the All-Merciful, was established, that mine eyes may be opened, and my face be illumined, and my heart be assured, and my soul be enlightened, and my steps be made firm.
In 1863, exactly 31 days after the celebration of New Year, Nowruz, Baha'u'llah set forth on the first stage of what would be a 4-month journey from Baghdad to Constantinople, after being exiled by the governing officials of the city. Baha'u'llah left his house and was ferried across the Tigris before reaching the Najibiyeh garden, where he would spend the next 12 days farewelling friends and followers before his final departure from Baghdad. Although the occasion of Baha'u'llah's departure was one of sorrow, he foretellingly declared it that the inauguration of a festival of supreme felicity and joy.
The garden bloomed with colorful flowers and lush green trees. The air was scented with the perfume of roses stretching towards the sun and shimmering with dew each morning. The Garden of Ridvan lay over the river Tigris, just 10 minutes away from the city gate of Baghdad, where Baha'u'llah had lived in exile with his family these past 10 years. As he boarded a small boat with his sons, Abdul Baha and Mirza Mehdi, and his secretary, people on the banks of the river crowded to see him. Baha'u'llah wore a taj, a beautiful tall felt hat, and disappeared in the boat destined for the Garden of Paradise. The river was wide, deep, and blue. The sun was hot as they traveled, but the air was cool as it came over the water. As they arrived in the garden, they were welcomed with fresh air and peace. Baha'u'llah knew that in this garden he would make a special announcement. The river swelled upon Baha'u'llah's safe arrival, and for 12 days Baha'u'llah stayed in the garden. Each day, as the first rays of light lit the horizon, the gardeners would pick the many roses which line the avenues and pile them in the center of the floor of Baha'u'llah's pitched tent. The pile was so high that his companions, gathered to drink tea, were unable to see one another. Baha'u'llah would graciously bundle the roses and ask his companions to deliver them as gifts to his friends in the city. On the 9th day, Baha'u'llah's family arrived in the garden to join him. His beloved wife Nawab and precious daughter Bahia Khanum must have been relieved to be reunited with Baha'u'llah. The river swelled once more, and for some days there was much wind. Baha'u'llah's tent swayed, so the friends took turns throughout the night and day to sit and keep the tent rope steady, so that Baha'u'llah would not be disturbed. This service they were happy to perform, if only to be near to him. During the days, Baha'u'llah would walk majestically amongst the trees and flowers, commenting on the peace and tranquility of the spot, speaking eloquently of the Bab's cause, and radiating forth the utmost joy. It was as though the friends sharing the garden with him were blessed with the heat and light of the Sun of Truth. He declared, "This is the day whereon naught can be seen, except the splendors of the light that shineth from the face of thy Lord, the gracious, the most bountiful. Verily, we have caused every soul to expire by virtue of our irresistible and all-subduing sovereignty. We have then called into being a new creation, as a token of our grace unto men. I am verily the all-bountiful, the Ancient of Days." At night, Baha'u'llah often paced the moonlit gardens, admiring the nightingale's sleepless song. As he explained, their ceaseless music demonstrated their dedication and admiration of the roses that surrounded them. He therefore asked how his companions, those afire with the rose-like beauty of the Beloved, chose to sleep. On a glorious day, Baha'u'llah finally shared with his eldest son, Abdul Baha, that he was the one foretold and promised by the Bab. Abdul Baha accepted without hesitation and dedicated himself to the service of his father's cause, selflessly serving as a living example for Baha'is throughout his life. Baha'u'llah also shared this important announcement with several other friends in the garden, appointing the festival of Ridvan as the most great festival, and declaring in the most holy book that in that moment, all created things were immersed in the sea of purification, the day whereon the breezes of forgiveness were wafted over the entire creation.
Say, the most great festival is indeed the King of festivals. Call ye to mind, O people, the bounty which God had conferred upon you. Ye were sunk in slumber, and lo, he aroused you by the reviving breezes of his revelation, and made known unto you his manifest and undeviating path.
He is God. Thou seest, O my Lord, the assemblage of thy loved ones, the company of thy friends, gathered by the precincts of thine all-sufficing shrine and the neighborhood of thine exalted garden, on a day among the days of thy Ridvan feast, that blessed time when thou didst dawn upon the world, shedding thereon the lights of thy holiness, spreading abroad the bright rays of thy oneness, and didst issue forth from Baghdad with a majesty and might that encompassed all mankind, with a glory that made all to fall prostrate before thee, all heads to bow, every neck to bend low, and the gaze of every man to be cast down. They are calling thee to mind and making mention of thee, their breasts gladdened with the lights of thy bestowals, their souls restored by the evidences of thy gifts, speaking thy praise, turning their faces toward thy kingdom, humbly supplicating thy lofty realms.
Gathered now at the mystic hour in the garden of Ridvan, circling around his blessed tent in the garden of Ridvan, and the nightingales sing, and the souls are on fire, as the crimson-colored ark sets sail in the presence of the best beloved of the world, in the garden of Ridvan. Of the rose is strong in the garden of Ridvan. The friends are silent, struck with awe in the garden of Ridvan, as the Ancient of Days lifts a myriad veils of light, and the new creation sings with joy in the presence of the best beloved of the world, in the garden of Ridvan. Ascends his throne in the 12 days of Ridvan. Approach him now and quaff your fill in the garden of Ridvan. Everlasting life from the hands of his grace, bestowed upon all humankind in the presence of the best beloved of the world, in the garden of Ridvan.
The festival of Ridvan is come, and the splendor of the light of God is shining from the invisible horizon of his mercy. The overflowing grace of the Lord of oneness is pouring down copiously from the unseen world, and the glad tidings of the kingdom are coming in from all countries. The resplendent morn that betokens the advancement of the cause of God and heralds the exaltation of his word is dawning in every region. Praise be to God, that the fame of the ancient beauty, may my life be offered up for his loved ones, has been noised abroad in the world, and the glory of his cause is spread far and wide throughout the east and the west. These joyous developments will indeed gladden the hearts of his loved ones.
With a candle lover go to the land of his beloved. With a candle lover go to the land of his beloved. To the true lover, reunion is life, separation is death. With a candle lover go to the land of his beloved. With a candle lover go to the land of his beloved. To the true lover, reunion is life, separation is death. His breast is void of patience, his heart hath no peace. A myriad lives he would forsake to hasten to the abode of his beloved. With a candle lover go to the land of his beloved. With a candle lover go to the land of his beloved. To the true lover, reunion is life, separation is death. With a candle lover go to the land of his beloved. With a candle lover go to the land of his beloved. To the true lover, reunion is life, separation is death. His breast is void of patience, his heart hath no peace. A myriad lives he would forsake to hasten to the abode of his beloved.
The divine springtime is come, O most exalted pen, for the festival of the All-Merciful is fast approaching. Bestir thyself and magnify before the entire creation the name of God, and celebrate his praise, in such wise that all created things may be regenerated and made new. Speak and hold not thy peace. The day-star of blissfulness shineth above the horizon of our name, the blissful, inasmuch as the kingdom of the name of God hath been adorned with the ornament of the name of thy Lord, the Creator of the heavens. Arise before the nations of the earth, and arm thyself with the power of this most great name, and be not of those who tarry. This is the day whereon naught can be seen except the splendors of the light that shineth from the face of thy Lord, the gracious, the most bountiful. Verily, we have caused every soul to expire by virtue of our irresistible and all-subduing sovereignty. We have then called into being a new creation, as a token of our grace unto men. I am verily the all-bountiful, the Ancient of Days.
Arise and proclaim unto the entire creation the tidings that he who is the all-merciful hath directed his steps towards the Ridvan and entered it. Guide then the people unto the garden of delight, which God hath made the throne of his paradise. We have chosen thee to be our mighty trumpet, whose blast is to signalize the resurrection of all mankind. This is the day whereon he who is the revealer of the names of God has stepped out of the tabernacle of glory and proclaimed unto all who are in the heavens and all who are on the earth, put away the cups of paradise and all the life-giving waters they contain, for lo, the people of Baha have entered the blissful abode of the divine presence, and quaffed the wine of reunion from the chalice of the beauty of their Lord, the all-possessing, the Most High.
Nabil, the famous Baha'i chronicler, whose eloquence Abdu'l-Baha described as a gift like a crystal stream, was one of those who accompanied Baha'u'llah to the Garden of Ridvan in April of 1863. The following are his words. Every day, ere the hour of dawn, the gardeners would pick the roses which lined the 4 avenues of the garden and would pile them in the centre of the floor of his blessed tent. So great would be the heat that when his companions gathered to drink their morning tea in his presence, they would be unable to see each other across it. All these roses Baha'u'llah would, with his own hands, entrust to those whom he dismissed from his presence every morning, to be delivered on his behalf to his Arab and Persian friends in the city. One night, the 9th night of the waxing moon, I happened to be one of those who watched beside his blessed tent. As the hour of midnight approached, I saw him issue from his tent, pass by the places where some of his companions were sleeping, and begin to pace up and down the moonlit flower-bordered avenues of the garden. So loud was the singing of the nightingales on every side that only those who were near him could hear distinctly his voice. He continued to walk until, pausing in the midst of one of these avenues, he observed, "Consider these nightingales. So great is their love for these roses that sleepless from dusk till dawn they warble their melodies and commune with burning passion with the object of their adoration. How then can those who claim to be afire with the rose-like beauty of the beloved choose to sleep?" For 3 successive nights I watched and circled round his blessed tent. Every time I passed by the couch whereon he lay, I would find him wakeful, and every day from morn till eventide, I would see him ceaselessly engaged in conversing with a stream of visitors who kept flowing in from Baghdad. Baha'u'llah would spend 12 days in the Garden of Ridvan in Baghdad in 1863, during which time he declared his prophetic mission to his followers and announced his station as a promised one of all religions.
Rejoice with exceeding gladness, O people of Baha, as ye call to remembrance the day of supreme felicity, the day whereon the tongue of the Ancient of Days hath spoken, as he departed from his house, proceeding to the spot from which he shed upon the whole of creation the splendors of his name, the All-Merciful. God is our witness. Were we to reveal the hidden secrets of that day, all they that dwell on earth and in the heavens would swoon away and die, except such as will be preserved by God, the Almighty, the All-Knowing, the All-Wise. Such is the inebriating effect of the words of God upon him who is the revealer of his undoubted proofs, that his pen can move no longer. With these words he concludeth his tablet. No God is there but me, the most exalted, the most powerful, the most excellent, the all-knowing.
Gathered now at the mystic hour in the garden of Ridvan, circling around his blessed tent in the garden of Ridvan, and the nightingales sing, and the souls are on fire, as the crimson-colored ark sets sail in the presence of the best beloved of the worlds, in the garden of Ridvan. The fragrance of the rose is strong in the garden of Ridvan. The friends are silent, struck with awe in the garden of Ridvan, as the Ancient of Days lifts the myriad veils of light, and the new creation sings with joy in the presence of the best beloved of the world, in the garden of Ridvan. Lord of names ascends his throne in the 12 days of Ridvan. Approach him now and walk your fill in the garden of Ridvan. Everlasting life from the hands of his grace, bestowed upon all humankind in the presence of the best beloved of the world, in the garden of Ridvan.
Verily I say, this is the day in which mankind can behold the face and hear the voice of the promised one.
This is the day whereon the ocean of God's mercy hath been manifested unto men, the day in which the day star of his loving kindness hath shed its radiance upon them, the day in which the clouds of his bountiful favor have overshadowed the whole of mankind. Now is the time to cheer and refresh the downcast through the invigorating breeze of love and fellowship, and the living waters of friendliness and charity.
This is the day in which God's most excellent favors have been poured out upon men, the day in which his most mighty grace has been infused into all created things.
This is a matchless day. Matchless must likewise be the tongue that celebrateth the praise of the desire of all nations, and matchless the deed that aspireth to be acceptable in his sight.
Rejoice with exceeding gladness, O people of Baha'i, as he called to remembrance the day of supreme felicity. Rejoice with exceeding gladness, O people of Baha'i, as he called to